Hey folks, it's Michael O'Neill. I'm your friendly Green Party of... Haha, whoops. It's Michael O'Neill, your friendly Green Party of New York organizer, and this is how Greens can get things done. Sorry about a little slip on the camera transition button there. I am talking to you live, as I have every week, every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the last few weeks, talking to you about the skills that Greens need to get things done in New York State, ranging from how to get on the ballot if you're running for office, how to use free and openly available graphic design software to create flyers and posters and online graphics for your needs, how to, what else have I talked about? How to do power analysis, as we were talking about last week, how to do strategic power analysis to look at how you need to mobilize community power to fight for whatever it is that you are aiming to accomplish in your community or your state or in the country, and how to measure the power of those forces who are arrayed against you. We have talked about a whole bunch of stuff, and today I want to talk to you about we're getting a little bit into the underworld of New York State electoral politics here. My first episode of the series, I talked about how to petition to get on the ballot for office. If you're a Green Party member and you want to run for office as a Green, then you need to collect petition signatures from fellow registered Greens in the district that you are running for office for. And you have a certain threshold of petition signatures that you need to collect. And then you file those petitions with your local county board of elections. And then if there is no other Green who's petitioning to get on the ballot for that office, then you become the Green Party nominee. If there are other Greens who are petitioning for that same office, then you have a primary, right? Just like Democrat primaries, Republican primaries are very common. We're familiar with those. And Greens can have primaries too. That doesn't happen a lot because we're a small but still growing party, and so we don't have a lot of candidates who are competing for the same nomination, for the same district. But as we grow, as we get more Greens, as we get more Greens who are running for office, Green Party primaries will become more common, and they will hopefully be comradely, and we'll conduct them democratically, and we need to make sure that we are committed to that as a principle, because it is an inevitable part of us growing as a party. Now, New York State, of course, has fusion. And by fusion, I mean that New York State allows a candidate to run on more than one party line in the same election for the same office. And it allows for parties to endorse people who are not members of the political party. This is frequently known as cross-endorsement. Now, fusion, which many of you watching this, if you live in New York State, are probably maybe somewhat aware of, is combined with a much lesser known mechanism called opportunity to ballot to enable non-Greens, non-party members to actually steal the Green Party ballot line when there is not a contested primary for the nomination for that particular election. Let me break that down for you. So the way fusion normally works is that under our rules, under the Green Party of New York rules, we do allow the cross-endorsement of a candidate who is registered in no party, and if they are not running for the Democrat primary or any other corporate party's primary, then our rules do allow for a certificate of authorization to let that person run for office as a Green on the Green Party line, even if they have not changed their registration to Green, as long as they're in no party. So we would allow them to run on our line in that way. And that's commonly how fusion occurs in New York State, and that's how it's allowed under our party. And it involves a governing body. If there's a affiliated county organization that exists in the district where this election is taking place, then that county makes the decision whether or not they want to grant an authorization to this candidate who is registered in no party to run as a Green. Again, assuming they're not seeking the ballot lines of any of the other, corporate cross-endorsing parties. So there's an actual decision there on the part of Greens saying, yes, we want this person to be our candidate. This person reflects our values. Well, with opportunity to ballot, let's say that there is no Green running for the nomination for that particular election. So let's say the City Council 4th District of Exampleville. So in the 4th District for the City Council of Exampleville, there is no Green running for that nomination to run as the Green Party candidate to serve as the City Council representative in the 4th District of Exampleville. Well, that allows an actor, right, a Green, a registered Green, to circulate what's called an opportunity to ballot petition. And what that does is it's a petition much like a regular nominating petition, but instead of nominating a specific candidate to run in a theoretical party primary in the fall, it actually opens up a write-in slot for the primary. So it opens up a blank spot that people can write in a candidate to serve as the Green Party nominee for that election. And here's the thing. Anyone who's eligible to serve in that office can be written in and can serve as the Green Party nominee in that election, no matter what their party is. Republican, Democrat, conservative, working families, independents, whatever. Anyone who's eligible to run in that election and serve in that office can be written in, and that person gets to be the nominated Green, in addition to whatever other ballot lines that they are running on. So let me break that down for you again. A Green, whatever, a group of Greens circulates a petition, gets the same number of signatures that would be required as if it were an actual Green running in good faith as a Green for this office, which in a lot of parts of the state is only a handful of signatures, right? So they, get some signatures from other registered Greens. Maybe those Greens don't really know what they're signing for, right? And then that opens up this write-in primary where anyone can be written in as a vote to be the Green Party nominee for that election, no matter what their party affiliation is, no matter what their values are. They could be pro-fracking, pro-war, pro-racist, pro-white supremacists, and if they get enough votes written in, and they're going to be the Green Party nominee, no matter what their actual party affiliation is. This mechanism exists clearly to allow the corporate right-wing parties, the corporate neoliberal parties in New York State, to raid the ballot lines of the smaller, growing, developing parties after they get ballot status. It's obvious that's the only reason this mechanism exists. When you describe how this can happen to regular voters, the mind boggles, right? Their eyes pop out of their heads because it's ridiculous to them that there would be this mechanism that allows non-party members to become the nominee of a party without really the consent of anyone outside of a handful of signatures. And we're going to get to where those signatures can come from in just a moment. So this mechanism, again, it's targeting smaller parties who don't have candidates running for office in every election, for every nomination. And it's actually worse than just not having a candidate running for the nomination. Opportunity to ballot can be employed if the nomination is not contested. So technically, in order to to make it impossible for an opportunity to ballot petition to be circulated at all, we would have to have 2 Greens running for every possible nomination in the state every year. It's only if you have 2 or more Greens who are running in a contested primary against each other where it makes opportunity to ballot impossible. Now, if you have a Green who's seeking the nomination, then you can you have the benefit of having a Green whose name is actually on the ballot, as opposed to a write-in slot where the person, who's seeking this through the nefarious OTB means opportunity to ballot, has to actually be written in. So if you have 1 Green running for the nomination, collecting petition signatures to run, and there's still an OTB petition circulated, then you end up with a Green whose name is on the ballot running against a write-in slot. So part of the defense against this is that we just have to run more Green Party candidates, especially in those parts of the state where opportunity to ballot is used frequently by candidates who are trying to grab as many party lines as they can. Because in New York State, you get an additional slot on the ballot for every party line that you're running on. So, Andrew Cuomo, when he runs for governor, he's showing up on the ballot 5 or 6 times because of all the different cross endorsements he's received. In most of the other states, maybe even all of the other states in the country where they have cross endorsements, where you can run on multiple party lines, your name only appears once on the ballot. And then the different parties that have endorsed you, they appear under your name, just on 1 column or 1 row. Now, Working Families Party representatives say that, well, we like it in New York State that you get on the ballot multiple times for every party that's nominating you, because that way you can see how many votes that party is contributing to you. And in theory, maybe, but if you're a pro-labor party and you're not able to bring yourself to break away from union-busting Andrew Cuomo, who ran for office on the premise that he was going to bring unions, public sector unions, in line, if you can't break from that, then really all you're doing is showing an exact tally of all the votes that candidate can take for granted. So the perverse effect of this is that the more times a candidate appears on the ballot, the more votes they tend to get, just because they're taking up more ballot real estate. It's crazy, but it's true. So candidates will try to snatch up additional ballot lines because they think it'll get them a few extra votes, and they're hoping that people who maybe don't have a lot of information coming into the election will see, oh, this person's endorsed by the Green Party. They must be super lefty or super environmentally conscious or super progressive. And they're trying to steal our good name. They're trying to benefit from our reputation, from our platform, even though they don't represent those values at all. They actually might even actively oppose those values. So those are some of the reasons by which people will pursue opportunity to ballot. And I've talked a bit about how that mechanism works. So the important thing is that if you are confronted as a rank-and-file Green by an opportunity to ballot petition, don't sign it, okay? There is no instance in which an opportunity to ballot petition is being circulated with the authorization of the Green Party of New York or its constituent county, okay? The Green Party of New York categorically opposes opportunity to ballot. I don't care how progressive the Democrat or whoever is carrying it or how environmentally conscious they say they are. We oppose opportunity to ballot because it is a diabolical mechanism that only exists to undermine our party as we are attempting to grow and become stronger and run more candidates. It's trying to steal our good name, dilute our good name, and confuse the voters of New York. So never sign it, okay? So whenever you're presented with a nominating petition to sign, make sure you read it from top to bottom. Never sign a petition that is labeled opportunity to ballot. And you want to immediately report an opportunity to ballot petition to the Green Party of New York State Committee, and you can do that through the email otb otb@gpny.org. And you can see that on your screen right now. It's otb@gpny.org. So let me show you what an opportunity to ballot petition looks like. Let me just bring up the magic window here. Okay, so this is what an opportunity to ballot petition looks like. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can get a sense of the whole screen. Let me just make that adjustment here. All right. So it looks a lot like a standard nominating petition, right? You've got, but at the top, critically, it says opportunity to ballot. And that's really the important thing to keep an eye out. If you see a petition that says opportunity to ballot, you do not sign that. It is not an authorized Green Party initiative. This is people who are trying to steal our good name and undermine our party. So don't sign it. Again, look for that opportunity to ballot at the top. Now, it will also say what office or offices that the petition is being circulated for. In this case, this OTB petition from 2015, this is in the town of Caymans and then the 37th Legislative District in Albany County. This was in the county of Albany, obviously. And so we had some town supervisor, town council, county legislator. So they can actually circulate for more than one position per opportunity to ballot petition. And it says who the Greens or who the registered party members are who are the contacts for this petition. Now, these are the people who put themselves down as the contacts for this petition. Now, this petition is a matter of public record. If you go to the Albany County Board of Elections, or if you call up the Albany County Board of Elections, you can say, send me all of the Green Party opportunity to ballot petitions from 2015. And if you can send it to me as a scan, you can get this. This is just a public record. So I don't really, have any problems with showing the names of John H. Canteen and Daniel O. Shire and Erica E. Freddo on this opportunity to ballot petition because they were trying to steal our ballot lines. Now, I did redact their addresses because I'm not a monster, okay? But yeah, these are the people who circulated this petition. And they did so knowing that, we're against this, or we have stated that we are against opportunity to ballot on many occasions. These people should have known that we're against it. Now, it's got, places to sign, places to print the name, put your residence. It looks a lot like a regular nominating petition as we covered in episode 1. And then at the bottom, they got a notary public to serve as the witness of the petition because they couldn't get a party member to serve as the witness. If you're not a member of a party that the petition is being circulated for, if you're a notary public, you can still witness those signatures. And so a lot of lawyers are notary publics, and so a lot of these party machine centers are centered around law offices. So we want to make sure that rank and file Greens know not to sign opportunity to ballot petitions. If someone smiles coming up to your door saying, hey, there's this really great candidate, this really great progressive, he's not a Green, but whatever, they probably won't even tell you that. They'll just say that this person is seeking the Green Party ballot line, and so please sign this petition to make that possible. No matter what song and dance they give to you, do not sign it if it says opportunity to ballot at the top. So where are some tricks that these corporate party candidates have for getting signatures? Well, most of you know, probably from the last year, many of you know from the last year, that in New York State, if you're changing your party registration, it can take a long time to take effect. It doesn't take effect until after the November election. This burned a lot of people who wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic presidential primary. They changed maybe from no party to Democrat or whatever to Democrat in order to vote in that primary. And then they found out that, oh, well, it's not going to take effect until late November of that year. In New York State, it's a pretty long time for party membership to change over. However, that's only if you're already registered to vote. So what happens is you get some some local big wheel who wants to run for office, some local Democrat or Republican or whoever wants to run for office. They want to grab the Green Party ballot line. A lot of these people are lawyers, right? Or they're tied into law firms of some kind, or they're connected to lawyers. And so what they do is they get the 18 and 19-year-old nieces and nephews, or the 18-year-old or 19-year-old interns at the law office to register to vote as a Green. And if you're registering to vote for the first time in New York State, your party affiliation takes place immediately. So by getting together a few nieces and nephews, sons and daughters, interns, whatever, who have just turned 18 or 19 and haven't registered to vote yet, they can register as Greens and then immediately sign your opportunity to ballot petition as registered Greens to put you on the ballot as your, uncle or aunt or dad or mom or employer or whatever. And this is all perfectly legal under these nefarious laws that, again, exist only to undermine and destroy growing parties like ourselves. So it's pretty easy for them to drum up at least a handful of signatures to fulfill the petition requirements for a lot of these smaller, less populated districts throughout the state. So what happens when we get an opportunity to ballot petition that's filed with the Board of Elections and it's successful? Well, the strategy that we've been pursuing is that, again, we being the state party or the county organization that's in or closest to the district that's being OTB'd, we got to know about it, right? There's over 60 counties throughout New York State. It's very onerous for the state party to call up all of those county boards of elections and follow up with them to find out if there have been any opportunity to ballot for any of the petitions, I should say, for any of the myriad elections that are up in a given year. So we really rely on Greens who are on the ground, who are either checking their own county board of elections to see if there are opportunity to ballot petitions that have been filed, or if they themselves have seen someone carrying an opportunity to ballot petition for the Green Party. So the opportunity to ballot period just started. The petition period for opportunity to ballot is slightly offset from the normal petitioning period for party member candidates. So I think that runs either 4 or 6 weeks. So it's July 2nd. I think it just started this past Tuesday. That was late June. So basically by early to mid-August, you should see opportunity to ballot petitions being filed at your county board of elections. And you can call up your county board of elections, or you can look at the state board of elections website to see when the exact due date for opportunity to ballot petitions will be. And so when that date comes around, call up your county board, say, I'm a registered Green Party member. I'd like to know if any opportunity to ballot petitions have been filed in your county or in this county for any of the elections that are up this year. And you can ask them to just email it to you as a scan, or you can have them print it out for you and you can go and pick it up from the county office. And those are usually the quickest ways to do it. And boy, if we had Greens doing that all throughout the state, that would make a big difference. So at least then we know if an opportunity to ballot petition has been filed, or we'll more reliably know that. Now, so we find out that there's an opportunity to ballot primary, a write-in primary that has been initiated for this particular election. So what do? We need a Green to step up, a registered Green Party member who lives in that district to step up and say, I want to be the official Green who is running for this nomination. I want Greens to write in my name so that I will be the Green Party candidate, the true Green candidate who gets the nomination and is able to block the Democrat or Republican or whoever who is trying to steal our ballot line, who is not in line with our values and is trying to besmirch our good name. And so we need a volunteer to do that. And we know that that's a short notice ask of people, We don't really expect a candidate who is stepping forward in that way to win the Green Party nomination to run a full-out campaign to Election Day. We are, the first goal is to block whoever it is that's not a Green from stealing our ballot line. And then, what you do with that nomination after that is up to you, right? But we don't want to have a situation where people are going to Election Day in November and they don't have any reason to trust that a Green Party candidate showing up on their ballot is actually a Green and actually supports the Green Party platform and policies and values. So when an opportunity to ballot petition is filed and it's successful, then we need a Green to step up and say, I will defend the line. I will defend the Green Party ballot line. Vote for me on primary day. Write in my name and circulate palm cards with your exact name on it so that people can write it in correctly. You can work with the state party for resources and advice. You can contact me, Michael at GPNY.org, and we'll do everything that we can to support you on primary day and before primary day so that you win that election, so that you successfully defend our line and successfully defend our good name. Now, in the long term, the only way to stop this insanity of having to keep an eye out for our opportunity to ballot petitions and having to call up the Board of Elections to see if any non-Greens are trying to steal our ballot line is to actually make opportunity to ballot illegal, to actually remove this crazy mechanism that only exists to undermine and thwart the growth of third parties and parties especially that are committed to political independence. We got to remove it. We got to get rid of OTB. And I want to say to all the Greens out there and allies who support open primaries in New York State, open primaries plus opportunity to ballot will equal annihilation for the Green Party of New York. While this opportunity to ballot mechanism exists, where you can create a write-in, right, a blank slot where anyone, no matter what their party affiliation, can be written in, if you allow non-Greens to vote in that write-in primary, we're going to get annihilated. Because there's so many, registered Democrats or registered Republicans or just non-voters compared to registered Greens. So open primaries plus fusion plus opportunity to ballot will equal the destruction of the Green Party of New York and any left progressive party that is committed to political independence. So if you're interested at all in open primaries, and we can talk about the other aspects of open primaries another day, if you're committed to that, if you like that, you got to work to get opportunity to ballot off the books first. Otherwise, you're basically working for a death sentence for the Green Party in New York. And like I said, any other party that is committed to political independence. So, fusion breeds confusion, as Howie Hawkins says. And like I said, getting back to first principles here, when it comes to opportunity to ballot, right, never sign it. If it says opportunity to ballot at the top of the petition, do not sign it. Report it immediately either to otb at gpny.org or you can email me directly, michael at gpny.org. If you know that an opportunity to ballot petition is being circulated in your community, in your district, please let the state party know through one of those two email addresses. Please consider stepping up to be the true Green candidate who will run as a Green in that write-in primary to make sure that a real Green gets nominated and to block whoever it is that's trying to steal our ballot line. And we need to work together in the principle of real grassroots democracy to eliminate this opportunity to ballot mechanism from New York state law. Because in the long term, that's the only way we're going to be able to, basically have to stop. It's the only way to really stop this cycle of us having to spend time and energy and resources every year, or almost every year, on defending our ballot line from people who aren't even members of our party. So that's something that we want to work together in coalition with other people who are committed to actual grassroots democracy to eliminate opportunity to ballot. There's also a case to be made for fusion to be eliminated as well. But definitely opportunity to ballot needs to go. There's no reasonable position in favor of opportunity to ballot. If you're in favor of opportunity to ballot, it's only because you want to destroy third parties and you want to destroy independent political initiatives. So that's the stream for this week. I know this was a little bit esoteric, a little bit, but this is the real meat of it, right? We're getting into kind of the deep state of the election systems and the little nooks and crannies that the corporate parties use to try and undermine our growth, to try to, cut our feet out from under us. They've got all kinds of legal dirty tricks that they put into law that they can use to try and stop us. And it is only through our vigilance as a party and through running more candidates for office, for more districts, and by running more competitive campaigns and having an educated, active membership base who can oppose opportunity to ballot petitions when they come up, and eventually mobilize the power to change the law so that this crazy mechanism gets eliminated, because there's no place for it. Thank you so much for watching How Greens Can Get Things Done. My name is Michael O'Neill. I'm your friendly Green Party of New York organizer. You can message me at michael@gpny.org. You can also send messages through the Facebook page for the Green Party of New York. That's facebook.com/greenpartyny. And I will be here next Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for How Greens Can Get Things Done. Thank you so much for watching live. Please do share the archive of this broadcast to your fellow Greens and allies, and I will see you next week.